So, came across the video. This is not one of my regular videos. Usually we're doing the trucking stuff, exposing these frauds, these crooks and these scammers, these dum-dums in logistics. But man, I have to cover some of these dum-dums in the government because what they're doing is I don't even know if you want to call it corruption anymore. I think they're all straight criminals. There's no other word for it, just criminals. So yesterday, state senator from West Virginia and state senator from Nebraska, they kind of did like a little press conference, little investigation. It's very interesting. I wanted to put it out yesterday. I didn't have it done on time. But I'm going to play some of it for you guys. I might not play the whole thing. And what I'll also do is I'll leave the link in the description for the whole video. If I have it. I got to find it because, I download the videos. But if not, you can Google it. But I got to play this. I got to go over it because what these fools are doing, man, this is crazy. So what do you say? Let's get into this video.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. And thank you, Senator Ricketts, for not just this particular topic, but Senator Ricketts is a particularly active member on the EPW committee. And I appreciate that because I know you know it, being a former governor, probably better than some others. So interesting developments, some of them topical today. And some of you all have heard me talk about this, but I think this should be an outrage, really, to every tax-paying citizen. We're talking about the Inflation Reduction Act, which is almost 2 years old as of this August. And it also, I noticed in the president's schedule that he was getting briefed on the Inflation Reduction Act. So I'm sure he got this briefing while he was being briefed on the Inflation Reduction Act, which we have renamed Invest in Radical Activities Act, because that's what this is about. So we've really been digging into who is getting these massive amounts of grants through the EPA. There's $3 billion in the
So pay attention, folks, because this is where your tax dollars are going to fund anti-American groups. It's the biggest crazy nonsense stuff I've ever seen. This is. Let's get back to it.
The Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA, that will go for different climate kind of buckets. And in our investigation, we found that a lot of this money that's going out really has little to do with the environment and a lot to do with funding groups that are basically engaged in what I characterize as anti-American activities. They're anti-American, anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, anti-police, and anti-border security. So the first one I'm going to go to is, and before I do that, I'm also going to say that Vice President Harris, who is now the nominee for the Democrat presidential race, is quoted here. "I have put equity at the center of our nation's largest investment in climate in history to reach the organizations that know their community best." That's what she said when they rolled out and actually named these organizations. And interestingly, today, there was a news article today saying that the green groups have now formed a coalition today, and guess who they're endorsing for president? Vice President Harris. So let's go over to the following one. I say follow the money because I think that's where you find out.
Follow the
first one
money.
is climate justice. It's up on the top right-hand bar. They're $100 million. They have glorified Hamas in a lot of their social media, on their websites and other things. And they think Israel has no right to exist. They're getting $100 million. This is a direct grant to them. The next one is the NDN Collective. Do you know them? Yes, they're a partner. Yes, they, on their social media, call the United States a so-called country and also call for the defunding of the police and our United States military. Imagine that in these times right now. Next, we have two New York and New Jersey coalitions that are getting $50 million. They're actually going to be participating in granting $50 million. Their quote.
I mean, look at this, folks. 100 million, these are grants. 100 million to glorify Hamas. 100 million to denounce USA and Israel. 50 million to defund ICE. 53 million to abolish the police. So your tax dollars are going to support these groups, which I looked into a few of them. These are Americans. I mean, how can these people call themselves Americans? We need to start like a new thing in this country. If you're not American, or you're supporting domestic terrorism, or you're supporting these radical groups, you need to lose your citizenship. You need to be deported to wherever. Just get the hell out of here. Because this right here, and then these groups are going to go back and endorse Kamala Harris. This is a racket that's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable.
The border and concept of citizenship is racist and wants no collaboration with federal immigration officials, and the ICE agenda is racist as well. Then we have the social and environmental entrepreneurs, $50 million. Again, abolish police, abolish prisons. The latest one, and those previous ones I'm talking about were all announced in December by the Vice President and named on the EPA's materials as they rolled them out through the press. The Ella Baker Center for Human Rights, the most recent funding was announced last week, is getting between $1 and $3 million, and they are actively advocating to defund police, decriminalize shoplifting, and abolish our prisons. So I think that that this uncovers quite a bit of the $3 billion. We're up to $200 million, actually a little bit more than that, if you count everything all in. And this is just the lack of accountability. The administrator of the EPA has been questioned about this. He says the money hasn't gone out. That was their first thing. Well, they haven't gotten the money yet. Now they're saying, well, we don't check out the partner organizations. So this NDN would be a partner organization as opposed to an actual grantee. So why aren't you vetting these people? I mean, this is tax.
I got to go back to the trucking part. You see what she said there? Why are you not vetting these people? Why are you not vetting? This is the problem. People want to support groups and network and do all this stuff, and you just make donations. You either know or you don't know, okay? And you support these kind of people, whether it's in a certain industry like trucking I'm always talking about, or this crap. I mean, I didn't know about this. EPA, they're sending money to the EPA. The EPA's, these groups, this is crazy. This is what goes on? Vetting. Yeah, nobody vets anything anymore. Nobody vets. It's like education went completely out the window. Everybody thinks this is fantasy land. But, let's just get back to the video.
Taxpayers' dollars. And what do they have to do with telling people how to live and cope better and clean up their environment? So I think that we need to know that these are appalling to me and to many of us who work hard to make sure that we're not just paying our taxes, but we're also making sure that we're making good investments from the federal government. So what are we doing about it? Well, we're shining a light on it and urging the EPA to not disperse this money. And coincidentally, they haven't dispersed all of this money yet, so we'll see what happens. I pushed in the Appropriations Committee for more money for the EPA Inspector General, somebody to follow the money within the EPA, because they know best. An Inspector General would be able to do that. And then I think the most important thing is when we take control of Congress after January, we will be able to defund a lot of this, but we also be able to follow it and do much more oversight. So I'm going to turn it over to my friend from Nebraska and see his perspective on this.
Well, thank you, Senator Capito, for highlighting this and showing some transparency and some sunlight on what's going on here with regard to these grants through the Inflation Reduction Act. But as you all more aptly named it, the Investment in Radical Activists Act,
right?
Because that's exactly what we're doing here. When you're giving money to organizations like the Climate Justice Alliance, and they are funding the March on Washington, and they are waving the Free Palestinian flags and so forth, we're paying them to lobby our government. I got to tell you, everyday Nebraskans don't think that's a good idea. Like that our tax dollars should go to radical organizations to lobby our own government. That's just crazy. And you're talking about the NDN Collective and the things they want to do, like abolishing the military, abolishing the police, abolishing Customs and Border Protection, abolishing...
Yeah, I mean, you believe this? Abolish the police, abolish the military, abolish the border. This is crazy. Like, I don't know what world these people are in. I'm at the point where I just say, you know what? Let them have it. Let them have it. Open everything up. You guys ever see that movie, The Purge? Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need a big purge in this country. Because trust me, these people that come up with this stuff and that are doing this kind of stuff, trust me, it's best. A purge, a nice purge. We need to clean out the country because these people, they're mentally ill.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Again, everyday Americans think those organizations are important organizations.
100%.
And we want to keep them to keep us safe. They are way out of step with what everyday Americans want to see. This is really, really radical stuff that they're promoting. And then we have organizations like the social and environmental entrepreneurs who are spreading climate alarmism and, again, funding left-wing groups. This is not what our tax dollars are supposed to go for. And to your point about the EPA, because all this money is going through the EPA, I was just talking to a company yesterday who said, hey, we need more help with getting permits done. We can't get permits fast enough, frankly, for some of these environmental projects even, and it's because the money is going to fund these radical organizations and not that nobody's paying attention to how many people they've got working in their different regions to be able to help get these permits processed. So on the one hand, the EPA's got legitimate business they're not getting done. On the other hand, they're funding these radical environmentalists and other sorts of organizations. And again, it just gets back to everyday Americans, that's not how they want their money spent. They want their money spent here in Washington, D.C. wisely. And when you see the frustration that people have in Washington, D.C., this is a prime example of why they have that frustration. So I want to, again, thank Senator Capito for highlighting this, for shining some sunshine on this, so that we can get some changes made. We are now sitting at $35 trillion in debt. We have got to get our spending under control, and spending on this kind of radical activism is not the way we should be spending our tax dollars. Right. Turn it over.
And we basically went from like around 20 trillion to the past 3.5 years, jumping up to this 30-some trillion. And now I'm being told that it's getting so out of hand that it's going to probably start every 2 months. It's going to be $1 trillion in interest added on. Like, these people, they got to go. They're wasting money. That's why they want to raise everything, take all this money, and put more taxes. Even in my area, they're raising the property taxes on my own home, I think from like $2,000. I think we estimate it's going to be about $3,500, $3,700. For what? For what? They're not doing anything. They're not fixing the roads. They don't do anything in this country lately. Nothing. Like seriously, everybody take a look in whatever state you're in. What do they do? Pave a few roads? Nothing lasts. We're not building any really new construction. Anything they do put up is like paper garbage. And these other countries overseas, where we send a lot of money over there too, they're building like crazy. They're building huge projects, buildings, all kinds of stuff. But yet over here in our country, we're giving tax dollar money to support radical groups to take down our own country. Like, this is absurd. This happening now, today, in modern day, in 2024. Like, it's unbelievable.
Well said. Well said. So, any questions? Yeah. Josh?
Yeah, thanks for doing this. Just, as far as you said, if you take that into account.
I'm going to stop it there because the questions are kind of quiet. The mic is low and everything. So I just wanted to play that. And, you could probably just basically look it up. Funding anti-American radical groups. To me, this is out of control, man. Like, I don't care. You guys can vote for whoever you want to. I'm 100% going to vote for Trump. There ain't no doubt about it. The guy is a billionaire, okay? He's not a politician. I don't care what he says. I care about what he does, okay? The man is going to lock that border back down. That's number one, okay? And he's going to put the screws to all these foreign countries that are getting a little bit wild. If you guys haven't been paying attention to current events, you see what's happening between Israel and Iran. Mark my words, if that stuff bounces off over there and bounces off where everyone's talking, you're going to have major problems over there. It's going to spread everywhere. Not to mention we have Ukraine and Russia kicking off. China is twitching over there by Taiwan. It's like everybody's going to break loose. This current administration, they got to go. They've lost complete control. These two are two dum-dums, okay? You can listen how they talk, if they can talk, because, Biden, he can't talk. This is disgusting. As this country, as proud as we're supposed to be and what we do, that we allow these people to get into politics and even have a chance to run as president? No, this is bullshit. That's why, how I say it, bullshit. But I don't know. I wanted to put this out. You guys let me know what you think of this kind of video. If you like it, I got a little bit different subscribers, a little bit mixed, but this just bothered me as a veteran, as an American who's born in this country, to see this stuff that's going on. Anti-American radical groups. So basically funding domestic terrorism. That's what I see. Our tax dollars being used to fund domestic terrorism to help tear this country apart. They want to get rid of the police, get rid of the military, get rid of the border. People, listen, if you don't mind, like, share, subscribe. Let me know. Leave some comments and keep them tasteful. I wanted to put this out there. I wanted to get a video out and talk about this, but this is, I don't know any of you saw this video or had heard about it, but stuff like this is the kind of stuff you have to bring to awareness. And I hope you guys choose wisely who you vote for, because we need a big change. These past 3 years have been very bad. You see what's going on, but wish a lot of people luck. I wish a lot of people luck, but I'm Axel. I got to get out of here and catch you on the next one.